Welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And I want to continue with the whole channeling your angels, kind of how to discussion. And the last two videos I felt were really good on understanding the whole spiritual process when you decide you want to be psychic, when you decide you want to contact your angel or other entities. And one and and so, had to take a rest last night after doing two videos and get back to myself, you know, and be me in the other aspects of my life. Being spiritual is one slice of the pie, but the other slices of pie is going to work, trying to clean my room, attempting to be, a functional human being. So we are all in this together. And realizing your personal issues and limitations, um, they're collective. There is like a narrative that we share as a family, as a culture, as a species here in this time. And so sometimes you're like, why is it so hard to change? Um, and it's because you find out that your personal limitations are shared and it's global. So maybe you blamed your mom, maybe you blamed your town, your religion, and then pretty soon you find out it's an epidemic and it's part of humanity's evolution. And when you realize this, it actually opens the door for you to receive higher guidance, higher stuff. It's not all about you, it's about the growth and development of humanity and which direction do we want to go, you know? And so when you open up your mind, when you understand, it's kind of like you're being called. You're the chosen one. And this is really critical because you're kind of stuck in the matrix, density, 3D experience when it's just about you. And you're still growing up. You're trying to become the warrior. But if there is no war to fight, nothing to stand up for, no higher calling, then you really have no business contacting higher energies that we like to call angels or archangels. So you may have had some angelic experience or some experience with divine beings or other beings, maybe in a moment of crisis. And you would like to have that every day. You have to consider, I like to call it, you're living below the heart chakra or like below the belt. Um, there's like a code of conduct, and it's like the code of Bushido. It's like the man's law. You don't kick a person when they're down. You don't turn your back to your enemy, like things like that. There's like a code of chivalry. Well, this code applies actually to the angels. And it's like, what are you trying to get out of them? When you're going to do a channeled reading for someone, are you aiming below the belt? Are you aiming in the 3D world? Is it all about money, finances, winning your boyfriend back, validation, ego stuff? And you might find that you're not getting a lot of really powerful experiences. You might get an intuitive response, like journal. Great. My therapist could have told me that. And that's actually true. So, speaking of that, Literally, I grabbed a book. I saw it on the bookshelf, and then I was like, you don't need to buy a book. My analyzer kicked in. That voice in my head, my ego, my brain kicked in and said, you probably know all that information. You just need to apply it. Then the other part of me is like, you won't apply it unless you pretend you're in school and you grab the book and you read it and you create a goal and do it. And I was like, but I'd really like to talk to my friend who channels angels and she's clairaudient, and I'd really like to experience that. And then I was like, you know what? The answer is all within the book. So if your answers, your needs can be met in the physical realm, it can actually be more productive. You don't have to get into a trance. You don't have to buy a crystal. All you had to do was follow your intuition, pick up the book that you were guided to read. Maybe there's a sentence in there. Maybe if you really dedicate yourself, commit to the process, you'll find out you were being guided. So while you're waiting for a mystical experience, it came through very practical means. You get that prompting, hey, buy that shirt for a job interview. Hey, go apply online. There you are. There's your new job. And so most of your answers most people who are going for answers aren't really going to commune with angels and develop their relationship. So you're hitting below the belt. And so those are your worldly concerns and practical needs. I would, that's just a stage, you can get those answers. So it's like, do you need a card reading or do you need a life coach? Do you need a card reading or do you need to go to therapy, couples therapy, or learn about attachment styles? And so a lot of times we actively counterproductively work against our highest good. And when you really start to understand how you self-sabotage, how you do actions that keep you in the same boat, it's really hard to get above the belt, get up into the heart chakra and the higher chakras. So we all go there. Our whole society is very self-defeating. So all these self-defeating behaviors, self-defeating thoughts, self-defeating emotions, turns out most of them are habits, and it's just to keep you safe in the box. So as long as you're playing in the box and you find, on all honesty, you rather stay in your box, you're below the belt. You're under the heart chakra. So in a very practical way, really understanding your polarization, the self-defeating behaviors, and the opposite, what inspires you. Because these two polarities create a strong clarity. And through this clarity, it opens up to higher beings and angelic help. So when you really, take inventory, probably inner child work, because that's what it is for me. I assume it is for everyone else. I really look at all my problems and go, whoa, there's an inner child I keep abandoning. I keep giving the love, I keep giving the attention, I keep doing everything, and I'm exhausted. And my core has been rotted out. So symbols show up, images. Why am I attracted to old abandoned houses? There is a cool Instagram, and it does like haunted or old castles, old mansions, old warehouses, and it just shows them all abandoned and how beautiful they are. And mirror, mirror, life is a mirror. I go, that's me. I'm a beautiful old Victorian mansion, or I'm a castle up in the mountains and I'm abandoned. And I'm like, how did this happen? What priorities took over where I'm not the temple anymore? How come I'm not bringing the energy back to me? You know? And I think in our culture, we're taught to give, 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 please others, and then get rewarded with a paycheck, then get rewarded with a promotion, then get rewarded with opportunities, you know? And you have to learn to bring that energy back. Be your, you know. So, anyways, this is important. So, once you kind of figure out what it is, that core wound, you know, it can actually create a lot of clarity, because the opposite of your core wound is your mission in life. So, a lot of people might go to a reader, they, you know, what should I do with my life? Basically, translation, when's my next boyfriend coming? When's my next job promotion? What career, what talent, skills, and abilities? We ask all these very low level questions to the bigger question. What is my purpose? Why do I exist? How do I help the world? Now you're hitting above the belt. Now you're going up into the heart center and higher reasoning and truer, more of, you know, creativity. You're being inspired. And so looking at the story of your life and your challenges and your limits, uh, you flip it around, and that is your humanity. That is your calling. Having empathy for what you have gone through instead of falling into the victim mode or the martyr mode, you know, or vigilante, you know, you're out to seek negative justice on the world and others. You know, those are low vibrations. So you're not really going to attract angelic assistance on demand. You know, you're not best friends on speed dial, is what's going on. You haven't raised your vibration. You haven't become aware. You haven't expanded your awareness. So, after, you know, I like to pull from my own experience a lot. And so, yeah, I did my meditation. You know, I worked at it. I put in forth some effort. I tried to contact my angel. I ended up in another dimension and, you know, into a secret realm. Okay. And when I came back the next day, I was totally upset, totally in my shadow material. And it was like this bipolar experience. What's going on? The more light, consciousness, and energy you bring to you, the more it shines the light in the shadows. What needs to be healed, what's weighing you back. And so you can go from a very extreme, inspired, evolved state of consciousness, and then the counter opposite weighs you down and slams you back into your ego, back into poverty consciousness, back into worthlessness, whatever it is for you. And you're like, I was working so hard and everything was so good. So it's like you're coming up for air, and then you just can't stay afloat, and then you sink back down. And so when we have setbacks in our lives, upheavals, chaos, that's kind of what's going on. You're, you know, you still got a lot of weight to release, and it's just part of the process. So you have to be gentle on yourself. And you're like, okay, that's why it doesn't happen 24 hours all the time. Angels on demand. Yeah, you got to do some stuff. So, and what's really interesting is in the world, it can be done. It's really kind of hard to go somewhere if you don't know where you're going. If you're trying to drive your car and you don't know where your destination is, this isn't, you know, an all expense paid road trip to wherever and then we're discovering foreign lands. You're going to get lost. You need like a roadmap. So having the clarity helps you find your personal frequency. So out of my suffering was indicating I was, the things that I'm being exposed to aren't in alignment with my core being. My core being is loving. That's really, once I get past my story, my ego, and my experiences, I go, my little journey on earth has kind of done some distortions. And I see how I distorted things by holding myself back, by not wanting to disrupt other people. I kept my energy back. I kept my thoughts to myself. I didn't express myself. I didn't, you know, ask for the things I needed. I wasn't open and authentic. I was hiding under a rock, with shame, guilt, and self beat up. So, who would I be without that story? Who would I be without those memories, without those limitations? What, well, I would, or also, now that I've gone through that, how do I feel about that? I would never want someone to go through what I went through. The opposite. I want everyone to feel free to express themselves. I want everyone to feel uh, kindness in the world. I don't want anyone to feel like their sexuality is a negative thing. Like whether you identify as male, female, or whatever gender terms you want to use. I think gender is fluid, but what you are biologically should never be seen as a negative, no matter how you feel like internally, spiritually, whatever. Uh, there should how do I feel about families? How do I feel about father figures? Because a lot of my negative stuff has to do with family, absent father, loss of identity as a man, struggling to also, fit in, you know, as I guess we call it queer. And so all these things, all these painful things also become shine light. It's like the darkness shapes the light, it points the way. And it's like, oh, that would be acceptance for all, a safe place, permission, these basic things, a healthy childhood, the value of men and value of fathers. I really advocate not blaming a gender to like bigotry. I don't believe in it. Like I don't believe in evil. I don't believe in blame. I don't believe it's anyone else's fault. I don't believe in narcissism either. I believe what's going on is wounded people trying to hurt other people. That's it. So healing. So it shines a light on healing. It shines a light on self-worth. And also feeling beautiful despite your age, despite your gender, despite your illnesses, your medical conditions, feeling unlimited, expand. So once I tap into this, I pretty much find my life purpose. It's like, what are you doing? No matter where I am, I can always kind of life coach, be an advocate, be someone's cheerleader behind the scenes. Isn't that what a parent would do? And that's exactly what I didn't get. So it's weird how you are kind of called by what you didn't get to give that. Give the love if you didn't receive love. Give acceptance if you were never accepted. Give tolerance when you were not tolerated. So now you're above the belt. You're up in the heart center. Your consciousness and your energy is more aligned to your true essence because you're an unlimited being, you know. So there is a call to humanity, a call to service. I wish to know in order to serve is one of the big keys of the mystery school. How do you come with absolute love and absolute trust is the way into the way, the goddess circle. If you don't come with love and you don't come with trust, you can never receive. And if you don't have a true desire to serve, and you serve yourself, and then you learn to serve others, or by serving others, you learn to serve yourself. It's all a win win, a give give. When you're thinking and feeling and you're in a mood like this, you're the inspired state. Your consciousness and your awareness is expanding to it's an all of us thing. It's not a me thing. It's not a you thing. It's not separatist. It's not, you know, end billionaires. It's like, this is all of us. And then your mind starts opening up to its creative genius potential. It's like money doesn't mean anything. It's like we either all survive or we don't. We either save the planet or we don't. And so now this comes into choosing your angel. Because whatever you are a harmonic match to, whatever your frequency is what is naturally drawn to you. So I am very concerned about natural resources for future generations. I am very concerned about having, I really, for all the negative things that happened in my family, I had a very blessed childhood. And, when you're living under that bubble, you don't realize how blessed you are. So you're complaining. Once you're out of it and you're really out of it, then you turn around and go, whoa, my life was blessed. Anything less than that, I couldn't imagine surviving in this world. So I really advocate having a father, having a family, and it can be in who knows which way. Each family is unique, but the love and the support, the validation, I think that's what makes a family. Someone you can turn to, someone who kind of protects you in some form. That's a parent. And so whether you live together or separate, whatever the dynamics are, it doesn't matter. But each child deserves that. So naturally, an advocate of family, an advocate of togetherness, advocate of connection, that comes from love. And so when you really look at that family, it started with two people coming together in love, in harmony, sharing their hearts. So my angel is actually a love angel. It's a romance angel. And it helps me because I'm also an artist. So you attract kind of your talents, your way of expressing yourself. They're attracted to you just like a familiar spirit. So my angel is attracted to me because I love to sing, I love to dance, I love to make art. Life is art. And so the muse, my angel is my muse, obviously. And I literally changed his name to Muse lately because we all have that guiding light, that inner genius. And it's when it's seen external, it could be seen as a muse, as a god, as something great, a divine light, a halo being placed, feeling truly blessed and feeling truly some appreciation for the divinity inside of yourself. When you know you are blessed, when you know you are guided, through that self-knowledge, that really strengthens your personal frequency. And really, what more do you need when you feel that empowered, So obviously you can make contact with your angels. It could be a long, drawn out process. My process, in a weird way, was over a whole lifetime. But there was like a 5-year period where spiritual activity was super strong, working with entities and beings. And then through that 5-year period, there is a slow development of my angel coming in full force uh, through roundabout ways. And it was really pretty profound, actually. and and then now here I am at the other end of the tunnel, and I still, I see so much more work to do with developing these skills and maybe making them useful, but at least appreciating it. And so, out of your suffering is a direction of which way you need to go, and your natural skills and your abilities. So, it's really tuning in and empowering yourself, being sovereign. The self appreciation, the self love really helps hit above the belt, and you're going to be more effective, and there's going to be so much more clarity. And your own wisdom, your own truth, your own voice, your authenticity is basically finding your core frequency. And it can be polarizing for other people, it can be jarring. It's like in a dystopian society, a self hating society, people might get offended that you feel like you're powerful. People might get offended that you believe in beauty, that you believe in God, you know? So you really can't connect with angels if you're still struggling under trying to figure out if there is a divine power at work. Like, that's that counterproductive self-sabotage. uh, that's betraying yourself when you're like, the universe could be not loving. When you bring doubt, when you let your analyzer, when your brain kick in and tell you all this negative programming, when you let your history of your past experiences, I failed and it's hard and I'm not special, so I can't connect with my angel. Like, when you're thinking uh, that way, you're distorting and creating pollutions. And I would call same with behavior. It's like I've really tried to cut back on foul language because I have never heard an angel say anything derogatory. And I've never heard a demon, a true demon, say anything derogatory. You know, they're divine beings. They're all divine beings. It's only humans that cast them in negative light. I don't believe in good or evil, but it's a game of frequencies, and so you have to ascend to. So yeah, I'm like, you're in the shallow if you don't know what your life purpose is. You're in the shallow if you don't stand for something. Where you place your body, that was a vote. What you eat and how you spent your money, that was a vote. How you spend your time, those are votes. And you're saying, so I know what you're doing. If you're just watching Netflix and eating junk food and ignoring your responsibilities, those are your beliefs. That is your mission in life. You're not attracting, angels aren't being inspired by you. Why would they want to deal with you? You have to aspire and be inspiring and be that magnet. Uh, so some creative journaling. So when you're feeling low, because how to wrap this up? When you're feeling low, you're out of frequency. You're stuck in your history and your experience. And what I do when I'm feeling low is I will read inspirational books, self-help books, poetry, go watch a movie full of fantasy to re-inspire me. It's almost like I need to now consume art. I need to now consume beauty. I need to now consume all this good. Then it throws me back on remembering who I am. So it's like you fall asleep in your negativity and then you wake up feeling positive and inspired. And and so it's really interesting, but you have to learn to self-regulate, and then you can have better experiences and go out in the world and live. So once you got your inspiration for the morning or the day, go live it. You know, I like to say our life is one sentence, and this is what you're sharing with the world, and what is it that you're sharing? Now go live your life, so you will share this one sentence in everything you say, everything you do, the way you dress, everything. It's this one sentence. Is it, what is it? Is it I believe in love? Or is it I believe in beauty? I believe in humanity? What is this like higher level thought? This opens your mind and allows you to work. It opens up your crown. It makes, you know, you don't feel bad about yourself for feeling good about yourself and others and the potential that humanity, you know, we could turn this nightmare around, you know, and you are the one. You are the chosen one. Be the change. So everything you're complaining about, be the change. Inspire yourself. Uh, if you can't, so find that in you. Inspire yourself. And that's really the last of this video. And like, that kind of took a lot to share that. But behind the scenes, you know, there's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of readjustment. We're all learning how to adjust. So it's like the boat just doesn't go straight across the water. There's these little adjustments, and then pretty soon it's to its destination. Same with contacting your angels or developing your magical abilities. It's these little adjustments, self reflection, doing inner work, getting counseling, life coaching, realizing the character, the identity that you're holding on to is the weight that needs to go. Forgiveness to me is clearing the slate. Uh, you becoming clear with yourself. Like it's you doing the inner work. That is forgiveness. That automatically creates boundaries. That's automatic self-protection, because when you're focused on raising your vibration, ascending, you get all the support in the universe. I mean, if you're a better person walking around on the planet in everyday life with higher elevated conversations, you are uplifting the world. And so I honestly believe your ability to contact angels, ability to channel, gets cranked up. You can do it with ease.